So you want to find a work camping job. Hey there, my traveling Pisces peeps.
Hey, what's up, fam? What's good?
All right, so Aaron has finally reached the end of the season here at the marina, and we thought it would be a great time to talk a little bit about a topic that's on so many new RVers' minds.
And that is work camping.
Work camping jobs come in all shapes and sizes. There are some basic must things that you need to consider when searching and applying for those work camp jobs.
Right. So in this video, we're going to talk about our top 5 must things that RVers would need to know and clarify before accepting a work camping position.
Right. Number 1, are full hookups included, or will you have to pay discounted rates for your sites? If they do not have full hookups, you're going to have to consider your electrical source, where you're going to dump, and what your water supply is.
Because some places may not even have full hookups altogether. They may just have partial, or they may not have any at all.
Right, exactly. Number 2.
Will you get paid, or are you working in exchange for your site?
Right. A lot of the work camp gigs out there, you are working in exchange for your full hookups and you're not getting an additional salary.
Right.
This is something that you want to consider when looking into your work camp jobs.
A lot of places will require you to work a certain amount of hours to pay for your site, and then anything above and over that hours that you set you'll be paid for. Also, many work camping positions will require to have either both of the parties that are going to be staying at the campground work, or one person to cover all of the hours if only one person is going to be working.
Right, and that actually goes into our number 3. What are the requirements as far as who's going to be working? Do they require a couple, or are singles okay?
Right. So we know that there are a lot of single RVers out there. And we know that it's sometimes harder for them to find work camping positions because a lot of positions are looking for couples.
Right.
And the reason why they're looking for couples is usually because they can occupy 2 work camping positions with taking up one site.
Right. But don't let that sway you from applying for that work camp gig if you find that it's in the perfect location and it's exactly what you're looking for. When we've been applying for work camp gigs, most of them say couples, but we've always reached out to them and said, hey, is it possible for Aaron to work all of the hours, like the 40 hours, because I do work remote. And, a lot of times they will work with you on that. So if you do find something, like I said, don't sway away from it. Go ahead and ask. The worst they can do is say no. Number 4.
What is the length of time required for that work camping position?
Yeah, this is a big one. Aaron's first work camp job that we had been at for 4 months, when we gave our notice that we were going to go ahead and get back on the road, they swore that we had signed a contract saying that he was going to be there for 4 more months. And we were lucky enough to have all of our email threads that showed otherwise, that we had told them how long we had planned on being there for. But it was definitely a lesson learned. And that leads us to number 5.
So number 5 is get everything in writing.
Wait, can you say that again?
Get everything in writing. Right. So that means, what is your job description? How many hours do you need to get to work before you get paid for your salary? What is your pay rate? Are hookups included? You want to make sure that you have everything documented, so if there's ever any discrepancies, you have your ammunition to be able to go back and prove your case.
Let's repeat that again. Get these things in writing.
And writing can be just a simple email back and forth, just with an agreement saying, hey, this is what we agreed upon, so that way, everything can be on the up and up.
All right, so once these important things have been answered, here are other things that you may want to also factor into when choosing your work camp positions.
Location, location, location.
Yeah, this includes the distance from your nearest towns, things that you might want to explore when you're in the area.
On your days off, right?
Right. If you have a fur baby, how far is a veterinarian? How far is the nearest hospital or fire station?
Or pharmacies or whatever you need to go to. You know, the work camping job that we were at this season, we were 45 minutes from any town. So you got to think about that, because that's going to put a lot of wear and tear on your vehicle. You're going to be spending time,
Absolutely.
money, and gas to go back and forth. So that breaks into how much money you would be making at that work camping position.
Yeah, I mean, we basically end up going to town once a week, and we get everything done that we have to, because, like you said, it's 45 minutes each way to the closest town. By the time you get there, then you do your grocery shopping, you do your running around of other things, and then you drive back, half of your day is done. So it is definitely one of the most important things that we factor in when we're looking for that new work camp gig. So another thing to factor in is cell service and internet service. All right, so let's face it, most nomads are looking to disconnect, so this may not be a big issue. But for some that are working remote jobs or just want to be be connected with their family and friends outside of where they're at, this is a big thing.
Right. So me personally, I like the idea of being connected and having the ability to disconnect, rather than being disconnected without the ability to connect.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, I work remote, so I always have to be able to get in touch with my office as well as be able to work. So I need that cell service and that Wi-Fi.
Right. So ask the people at the work camping position, hey, what's the cell phone service like? What towers are nearby? Do you guys offer Wi-Fi in the park? So those are just some of the things that you want to consider.
With being in Northern California, we have had to contend with wildfires, desert-like conditions with no rain for 7 months, 100-degree temperatures. We've even had mudslides and a few minor earthquakes. So look at whatever area you decide that you're going to travel to if you've never been there, and just, kind of look at the average weather for the time span that you're going to be there.
So the next one is going to come from Simba. She's going to give it to you. Wait, what?
Simba, what'd you say?
You're not going to give it to her?
Tell him.
You want us to give it to him?
Tell everybody.
All right. So the next one is pets, right? You want to find out if there are any breed restrictions for your pet.
Yeah, you want to check your breed restrictions for dogs, and you also want to check to see if there's any maximum mounts, because unfortunately we have seen some RV resorts where they have a restriction as far as how many dogs you can have. And when we're talking about restrictions, you also want to check to see if there's any restrictions for RVs. Most of them will tell you up front. We've had some work camp gigs when we're applying, and they ask how old your RV is. They want you to send a picture of both your RV as well as your fur babies, and as far as you guys go. And last but not least, if full hookups are not offered, what are your generator restrictions, if there are any? Or if you're depending on solar, is it in a heavily wooded area? The last thing you want is to say, oh, solar, oh, no problem, I've got solar. But then you get there and it's a heavily wooded area.
Right.
Ooh.
And are they going to compensate you for running that generator, or are they going to provide fuel for your generator?
Yeah. All right, so those are the 5 most important things to consider when you are work camp searching.
Was there something that we missed? We'd love to hear your ideas, and anything that we missed, make sure you drop them down in the comments.
Yeah, or even if you had a great work camp experience somewhere, we'd love to hear about that too. All right, so thanks for watching, and until next time,
Ciao for now.